90s rap, you must be thinking, that's so boring and all, but in reality, it was actually pretty cool. LL Cool J was the most famous rapper in the 80s. However, there were other legends such as Rum DMC, Fat Boys, Slim Rick, Big Daddy Kane, and so many more. In the mid 80s, rappers like LL Cool J began creating hip hop hit singles with catchy melodic hooks. New York duo Rum DMC also used hooks in their songs but added hard rock guitar to create a popular style called rap rock. And their 1986 album Raising Hell became hip hop's first top 10 album. Hip hop in the early 1980s encompassed immense amounts of disco and funk influence. Rappers like Curtis Blow made hip hop dance music. By the mid 1980s, hip hop music was becoming popularized because of artists like Run DMC, who incorporated rock music into their raps in order to appeal to different audiences.
When you think of 90s rap, what comes to mind? Is it the top hits from the group NWA, like Gangsta Gangsta? Or is it the popular original I Got 5 on It by the duo Loonies? Let me refresh your mind and let's rewind. During the 90s, you saw the development of new subgenres like gangster rap, alternative hip-hop, and conscious rap. The one I'm going to focus on is gangster rap. This subgenre was characterised by its gritty and often violent lyrics, and it focuses on the realities of inner city life. NWA, Ice-T, and Dr. Dre were some of the most prominent gangster rap artists of the time. This subgenre was characterised by its gritty and often violent lyrics, and it focuses on the realities of inner city life. NWA, Ice-T, and Dr. Dre were some of the most prominent gangster rap artists of the time. The 90s also saw the emergence of the East Coast versus West Coast rap rivalry, which links back to the gang culture that comes with rapping. This conflict, which was fueled by personal and artistic differences between rappers from the two coasts, reached a tragic climax in 1996, when the famous Tupac and the notorious B.I.G. were both killed in separate drive-by shootings. Another subgenre that developed during the 90s was alternative hip-hop, which was known for its experimental and often more socially conscious themes, such as groups like A Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, and The Roots. Some of the best songs during this time being Me, Myself and I by De La Soul and Feel Good Inc. by Gorillaz. Some of the best albums in rap history were recorded during the 90s, such as the Wu-Tang Clan's Enter the Wu-Tang and Nas' Illmatic. Overall, the history of 90s rap was marked by a period of tremendous creativity and innovation. This era saw the rise of many of the most important and influential rappers of all time, and the development of new subgenres that would continue to shape the music industry for decades to come.
The 2000s were very iconic for its fashion, celebrities, and of course music. You had musicians like Kanye, Eminem, Rihanna, Britney Spears, Missy Elliott, and 50 Cent. Groups and bands were very popular, such as NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, the Black Eyed Peas, Pussycat Dolls, and Destiny's Child. The genres varied with very slow chilled R&B beats, still popular from the 90s, as well as rap, pop, and punk rock. Overall, the 2000s were very inspired by late 90s trends, just more rebellious. Music became particularly popular due to Napster, which you could use to download music instead of CDs, hit clips, or listening on radio. As a result, more people got involved in music and changed it forever, becoming how it is today. I personally believe some of the best music came from the 2000s. You remember hits like Miss Jackson by Outkast, Drop It Like It's Hot by Snoop Dogg, or Hot in Here by Nelly, all very iconic songs that you still hear in the clubs today. My favourite Kanye West album even dropped this year. Graduation. I suggest you all listen to it. But the 2000s generally was the most legendary time period for music.
With the 2000s ending and the new decade coming around the corner, the hip-hop and the rap scene has seemed to have changed for a more modern feeling. For example, there's still artists to this day that still rap just like back in the old days of the 1980s and the 1990s, while today's era is more of a showing off feeling, but also safe to listen on the radio kind of feeling, with big artists from the previous decade still dominating the charts, like Eminem's Love the Way You Lie featuring Rihanna and Power by Kanye West. But this decade will introduce the industry some new artists like Kendrick Lamar, Tyler the Creator, NF and Post Malone. This decade has also introduced a new kind of style to the genre, which we like to call mumble rap, which has brought up Lil Uzi Vert, Travis Scott, Future, and many more. This scene also introduced streaming platforms which has seemed to have blown up and everybody's using them to this day, like Spotify, Apple Music, and so on. But also in this decade, we have lost a lot of artists, not only just upcoming, but very well named. For example, Lil Peep, Juice WRLD, XXXTentacion, and Nate Dogg. And now I'm going to tell you the top 5 official Billboard charted rap songs of the whole 2010 decade, going down from number 5 to number 1. In 5th place we have The Hills by The Weeknd. Number 4 we have Sunflower by Post Malone and Sway Lee. Number 3 we have Blurred Lines with Robin Thicke, T.I. and Pharrell. Number 2 with That's What I Like by Bruno Mars. And number 1 of the whole decade is Thrift Shop by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. And here are the top 5 listed artists of the decade, coming from number 5 to number 1, with number 5 being Kendrick Lamar, number 4 being Eminem, number 3 Nicki Minaj, number 2 Post Malone, and number 1 Drake. And finally, with this section to show how much of music has changed down these years, here are the top rap and hip hop songs from each independent year, going from 2010 to 2019, with 2010 with Not Afraid by Eminem, 2011 with A Certain Word That I Can't Say but Involves Being in Paris with Kanye West and Jay-Z, 2012 with Mad City by Kendrick Lamar, 2013 with Fucking Problems with A$AP Rocky featuring Drake, Kendrick Lamar and 2 Chainz, 2014 having Trap Queen by Fetty Wap, 2015 with Hotline Bling by Drake, 2016 with Panda by Designer, and with 2017 we have Humble by Kendrick Lamar. And in 2018, we have once again Drake with God's Plan, and finally, in 2019, we have Old Town Road by Lil Nas X and Billy Ray Cyrus. And that is my findings of the 2010 decade.
Now going into present day rap and hip hop in the 2020s. Many names which you may have heard about in the 2010s and maybe even the 2000s are still present to this day. Names like Drake, Future, Kendrick Lamar, and Joey Badass are still dominating the scene to this day, as they keep producing and releasing new albums which do not go unnoticed and have a high overall satisfaction rate. However, the younger generation of new rappers also dominate the scene for younger audiences around the same age as the rappers. Examples may include rappers like Lil Baby, Polo G, NBA Youngboy, Baby Keem, Lil Uzi Vert and 21 Savage. These are all rappers which you may have heard about. Now, the reason these rappers have blew up in the past years is due to rap music as a whole evolving. As technology becomes more advanced, producers are able to create new beats and sounds which have never been heard before. This puts rappers which collaborate with producers like Metro Boomin, Peerborn, Southside and 808 Mafia into an advantage, as the producers themselves have a lot of fans, meaning that fans will listen to the songs no matter what rapper is rapping over it. One of the best examples of this is 21 Savage's and Metro Boomin collab, where they released Savage Mode 2, which went gold as it sold over 500,000 units. However, when it comes to platinum rewards, Drake, like I mentioned earlier, is still at the top of the list with 95 individual songs selling over 1 million units. Next on the list comes Kanye West and Lil Wayne, which all dominate the scene in the 2010s. However, when it comes to newer rappers, Lil Baby, Juice WRLD and NBA Youngboy have all got over 30 songs going platinum, with Juice WRLD bagging 44. The female rap scene is also a subject we cannot forget, as Nicki Minaj, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion are also all rappers which have everyone in a chokehold and still to this day produce songs and albums which become popular and trendy. Nicki Minaj has 23 songs going platinum as of now, which is very impressive as women tend to be in a disadvantage in rap, as some male rappers glorified objectification, exploitation and victimization of women. Upcoming rappers like Glorilla in the New York drill scene are also becoming popular and hitting millions of views and streams on YouTube and Spotify.